Welcome my crafty friends, Michelle here. I have a fantastic fall craft for you today. In today's crafting adventure, I'm going to show you how to pull together materials and make a 3D half scarecrow for your front door. Stay tuned and I'll show you how to make this beautiful scarecrow wreath. Now to get started on our three-dimensional scarecrow, you're going to need a 14-inch wire wreath form. You're also going to need to take a trip to your local thrift store or maybe into your closet. You're going to need a shirt for your scarecrow. I found this one. It's a Wrangler. And I went with something a little on the smaller side. This is a smaller woman's size so that my wreath would fit inside, but it wouldn't be too big. Okay, the next thing that you're going to need are some nice big zip ties, and you're going to need 2 pool noodles. Okay. So I'm going to be attaching the pool noodles partially here to the wreath form. Now each pool noodle is going to represent an arm. So I am going to be cutting these a little shorter, but I'm going to wait to see how long I need them. First thing I want to do is cut a little bit of a slit in one end. So I'm just going to use one of the crossbars here so I know where the center is. I want to put my pool noodle over that, and I want to attach the pool noodle to the next crossbar. So that's how far of a cut I need to make. It's kind of hard to work with the pool noodle. Okay, so I want to start it here at this crossbar, slide it in until the next crossbar. Okay, so that's kind of going to be the shoulder or one shoulder of your scarecrow. And to get this secure, I'm going to zip tie it on. Now, depending on the color of your shirt, you can use whatever color pool noodle. If your shirt is a lighter color, then you might want to be concerned of what color, but mine's pretty dark, so I'm not going to worry about the color. Okay, so I have one pool noodle on, and now I'm going to attach the other one the same way I just attached this one. Now I have both pool noodles on and zip tied. Now the next thing is we need to determine how long we need these for our arms. So you want to get your little guy here partially dressed and get his shirt on. You want to make sure that your shirt can come together. Now, as you can see, that's way too long. Okay, now you want to leave a little bit of space because we are going to be putting gloves on and they'll need something to attach to. Okay, so my pool noodles are cut just a little bit longer than my shirt length. And now back here at the top, I'm going to add another piece of pool noodle here. This is where we're going to attach the head. In the description box below is a detailed list of all the tools and materials used in today's project. Next, we're going to work on the hands. I have a pair of black gloves here. They came from Dollar Tree. It's one size fits most. If your store doesn't have gloves, you can also go over to the hardware department. Usually they have black work gloves over there. Those will work just fine. Or maybe you have an old pair that you don't need anymore. Now to get these stuffed so they look three-dimensional, I'm going to use some old stuffing from a pillow. You can also use polyfill. You can use rags, you know, whatever you want to put in there. I'm originally going to get it stretched out a little bit here with my hand. And then just go through and start stuffing. You want to do each individual finger so it looks like there's an actual hand in there. So I have each of my fingers stuffed and my hand. My wrist is not really stuffed because that's the part that's going to go over the pool noodle. Now you're also going to need a hula skirt. It doesn't matter whether it's an adult or a child's. Your store should have this in their summertime. If you missed it in your store, you can also buy a couple packages of natural looking raffia and use that instead. So I opened up the hula skirt and it comes all tied on a string, which works out great for us. So you want to measure around the pool noodle to see how much you're going to need. Trim that. Kind of push it down so it doesn't fall off. And then we're going to get our glove on. You just need to pay attention to where your thumb is. When your hands are at your side, your thumb is usually facing forward. So keep that in mind as you add your glove. Now don't worry, we're going to be placing the fingers later. Okay, so once you get that on, you want to add some hot glue to make sure that stays. Just be cautious, the hot glue will come through if you're using fabric. Okay, then we're going to take that hula skirt and we're going to, first I'm just going to kind of tie it on here and then glue it down. Enjoying today's content? Please show your support by hitting the like button, leaving a comment, and sharing the video with your friends. Okay, so that's all nice and secure. Now it's time to trim this. And you want to keep whatever you trim off. We're going to be using that for the hair. So I'm just going to kind of hit some different lengths as I trim this. Okay, I think I like that for right now. I may trim some more later when we go to add the element that he's going to be holding. You want to do the same application to the other arm. So I have both of my hands done, and now I'm kind of looking at how I want my arms to lay, and I realize I need to do a little bit more adjustment. If I try to bring this in, my arms are going to look really long, so I need to come in and do a little bit of an adjustment. I'm going to attach this again one more time with another zip tie. That looks like that's going to work a little bit better. I might have to do a joint. Okay, so I'm going to do a cut and then I'm going to take a little chunk out. So we're going to start working on the head. Now I have a nice large half round. I did pick this up from Walmart. It is a craft foam and it's 3.8 inches by 7.8 inches. And then I also picked this fabric up from Walmart and I paid $4.17. It is like a linen material, but anything that has a nice tight weave that looks Natural is what you're looking for. I bought a lot more than I need, but that's okay. It'll go in my stash. So I do want to get this covered. I just need to kind of determine how big of a piece I need. Okay, so you just want to center it as best you can. To get this started, I'm going to tack down the 4 corners. Enjoying the content and want to see more? Make sure to hit the subscribe button. When the notification bell pops up, if you hit that too, YouTube should let you know every time I upload new content. And now your goal is just to get as smooth of a wrap as you can. Just do small pieces at a time so you have room to adjust. So I have the cloth around my half round, and as you can see, I do have some wrinkles, but that's okay. The front here where I want to put the face is smooth, so I'll be able to draw or paint that on. And now I'm adding some craft sticks. This is what's going to help me to attach it to the body. And I'm using hot glue and Aleene's Original Tacky Glue. Now to cover the back here, I have just a piece of cardboard. It came off a stack of paper. And I just laid that down and trimmed it out so it will fit nicely onto the back here. That will help to make sure that the fabric stays secure and that my craft sticks here are nice and secure as well. And I'm going to attach it with a combination again. So I still have a piece left here that's tied onto the string. And I'm going to add this as hair. So I'm going to take the string and I'm going to glue it onto the top here. I will trim the bangs and pull some to the side after I get it attached. So I just want to attach it right here, kind of at the top. That's going to give me plenty of hair coming towards the face. So now I just want to kind of play with this a little bit. I'm going to wait to do the bang area until we get the hat on. Now this is the hat that I'm going to be using. I picked this up from my local thrift store. Now I know it looks kind of big, but that's okay. I think it's going to look really cute. Just need to figure out how I want to shape it before I get it attached. I think I like that. I like the rim coming up a little bit so that you'll be able to see the face. Now if you can't find a straw hat at your local thrift store, you can also check Dollar Tree. Sometimes over where they keep the socks and things like that, they have straw hats for little girls. You can also use those. My hat is nice and secure, so now I'm going to work on trimming up my hair. And remember, this is a scarecrow, so it does not have to be perfect. You're just looking for some personality, that's all. So just keep playing with it until you get it the way that you like it. If you cut too much off, just glue some more on and go for it again. Okay, I'm happy with the hair. I think it looks really cute. Just kind of snip in some different lengths and play with it. I'm really happy with that. Now I pulled out some Sharpies in orange and in black. I'm going to work on doing the face. Sorry about that. I forgot to turn the camera back on when I went with my black pen. But as you can see, I've added the eyes and the mouth, and now I'm going in with a smaller Sharpie. And I want to add just some stitching around the nose. Now by using the Sharpies, you're going to get a little bit more of a rustic look because it does kind of blend into the fabric there. If you don't like that and you want a real crisp looking face, you can cut each of the pieces out of felt and glue them on. That'll give you a really crisp look to your face. But because the Scarecrow is so rustic, it shouldn't be perfect. So I like this. I think it looks really cute. Okay, it's time to get the head onto our Scarecrow. Now remember, we added that extra piece of pool noodle, and that's what we're going to stick these into. You just need to make sure, whatever angle that you're putting it in, that your face is going to sit in the direction you want it to. I'm going to have to help that a little bit. Okay, so I'm going to leave that up just a little bit, and I will hide that with this. Okay, so now I'm going to add some Aleene's Original Tacky Glue to this before I stick it back in. And now I'm just going to adjust my bandana to cover that space. It's time to fill in the body of our Scarecrow here. Now I have what's left over of my pillow. I pulled all the stuffing here to the end, and then I'm going to roll this up. I want to use this to kind of give a little bit of a belly. And then I also have several pieces here of some foam sheeting. I have 2 pieces this size. Just going to roll it up. I'm going to put one of these down each of the arms. This will help add a little bit of padding at the shoulder and down the arm. For the main center of the body, I'm going to start with this, and then I have a nice large sheet that I've folded several times, and then this will go over the top of that to add bulk. Once I have my filling done, then you just want to button up your shirt, and you pull it together as if it's tucked into a pair of pants. Pull it nice and tight and add one of these big zip ties. Then you're going to take anything extra and flip it around to the back and glue it down. Here on the back, you can see that I've cinched the bottom of the shirt and pulled all that excess fabric back. I have glued it down using a combination of Aleene's Original Tacky Glue and hot glue. Okay, so now we need to put a hanger on. I'm going to use a zip tie because I feel this guy's going to be a little heavy. And I just pulled down the back, I went in, I've attached it directly to the wire frame. And then you just want to move this part down so that you don't see it. Put that underneath the shirt. Okay, and then I'm going to cut a hole here in the hat so I can pull it through. Okay, so that's what I'm going to use to hang my wreath. And now I want to tack down the back of the hat. Okay, so we have our main body together, and now I want to create something that he's going to be holding in his hands. And for that, I have one of these cute little pumpkins you can pick up from Dollar Tree. And I have 2 stems here of fall florals. So I'm going to remove this. And then I'm going to trim these down so that they are individual stems. Okay, so you know I like to push everything up as far as I can when it comes to the leaves and things. And then you only need to leave a couple inches there. I have both stems cut, and now I'm just going to stick them into the top and create a cute little arrangement here in the top of my pumpkin. Quick, simple, and absolutely adorable. Okay, so I was attempting to attach this and realized my arms were too long. So I went in, and where I cut the little notch to bend, I just cut it off, and I removed about 4 inches. Just go ahead and slide that back in. Make sure your hand is positioned properly. And now we're going to attach it. I want him to hold this about here. Now look at how you would hold it. Your thumb is on one side, your fingers are on the other, so that's exactly what you're going to want to do. I'm just going to put a little glue here on the fingers, and then I'm going to put my hand behind it and wrap it around. Now I have my hands glued down. I'm also going in and adding some floral pins, and I'm going in through part of the glove, turning and then pushing directly into that styrofoam pumpkin. And then you just need to adjust the glove so that you don't see any of those pins. That's going to make sure that that pumpkin stays attached to the hands. I'm finishing attaching the pumpkin here. So I have the hands secure, and I also have it glued onto the shirt. And now I'm working on the corners here. Now you just need to play with this a little bit so that it looks right, so that it looks like his elbow is bent. I found that using one of the floral pins in the side here to keep the elbow up, and then doing some creative tucking around the elbows worked out really well. As you can see, the elbows angle up just a little bit. It makes it look a little bit more natural. I'm really happy with how he came out. This is the first time I've ever constructed something like this, and I'm really pleased. He came out pretty close to what I had envisioned in my mind, so I am quite happy. Now here on the hat, I added this back. This actually came on the hat. I tore it off, but I decided I wanted to put it back. I also added a little bit of the hula skirt. Now he is a nice size. From the top of his head to the bottom is about 31 inches. From his widest point here where his arms are is about 27 inches. And through his chest, he's about 18 inches. So he makes a great statement on your front door. Let me introduce you to Scarecrow Jack Straw, the new guardian of autumn. Looking for a little fall entertainment? You might want to check out The Legend of Jack Straw. You can find that by hitting the link pinned in the comment section below. Have a great day, my friend. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.